Okay, my friends, this is the secret. Oh, what is that? That's a green stalk planter. If you haven't seen my video before, or any of my videos, you will always usually see the green stalk planter in the background. It's been in the background for close to 3 years now, and the reason why we went with a green stalk planter is because, if you don't know this already, we are limited for space. Even though we have 13 acres, it wasn't 13 usable acres. Nope, you know, the steep terrain. I needed to grow more food, and there weren't a lot of options. And green stalk answered that option. It allowed me to grow more food in a very small, intensive space. It allowed me to grow food upward. And it's just the benefit. The planters are self-watering. We have grown potatoes, onions, carrots, peppers, lettuce, tomatoes in these planters. And I like them because they're self-watering. You can take them apart and move them. It was a great addition. A great addition. Now that winter's here, this is the secret to growing year-round. It's the green stalk planters. What I'm doing as part of my fall preparations, you can see that we already grew stuff in here. And I'm cleaning them out. In fact, I had carrots in this one. Oh, here, actually, do I have another carrot? We had carrots in this one. I harvested those already. We had, this one I believe we had potatoes. This one I already emptied out. And we had lettuce. They worked wonderful. Now I am going to kind of mix up the soil a little bit more, put some of the garden soil in here, a little bit of compost, and I'm going to plant some seeds. And actually I'll get them started now outside while it's still reasonably doable, and then I'm simply going to move my planters inside. Now, the great thing about moving these planters inside is they don't take up a lot of space. You stack them upward. In fact, I'm going to show you how cool they are. Let's get stacking. Ta-da! There it is. Look at that. And I actually have an extra tier. They come in 1, 2, 3. This one's a 4 tier. I believe you can get a 5 tier. I like the 5 tier, but 4 tiers are doable too. And this is the thing, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I'm going to be growing in here too. It's very stable. Everything locks in. And a lot of people have asked, oh, I don't know, this looks really tippy. It's not tippy. Once the soil gets in there and you lock it in, it's like lock and go, very solid. I have done a lot of research, and I remember looking on Amazon, and there were some other stackable tier plastic planters, and I tell you what, they were cheap. They were cheap and chintzy. Cheap and chintzy. You really got to be careful with what you buy, and if you're going to be investing in gardening, and something that's going to feed you, why would you go with something that is cheap and chintzy? I learned that a long time ago. It's taken me a while. And I'll tell you what, we can always think outside the box and think of different ways to grow. I have done all of it. I grow things in different containers, in tires, in pots, but this was a great investment for the homestead, and just added more high yield produce in such a small area. And that was a benefit, and I think that's a benefit for those of you who say are even living in an apartment and you want to grow. You can do this right on your porch if you live in a hot area year round. Oh my gosh. And if you don't, you can bring this inside, put this in the window. All right. So once I get this up and planted, I'm going to do another video and I'm going to show you how. Okay, let's talk about actually using the planter for your gardening this fall. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. And you don't have to do it exactly how I do it, but this is what works for me on my homestead, because it is fall and it's cooling off. So I choose my cool weather plants, vegetables. And I've got basil in here, I'm doing lettuce in there, I'm doing Swiss chard in here, and in here I am going to do my spinach. Okay, all cool weather vegetables to be growing right now, and herbs. Then I will take my planters, as you see, and look, they're not filled to the top with garden soil. Ooh, how can that be, Starry? You don't need to fill them. to the top. Just remember, whatever you grow, most of the time your plants do not require a lot of depth for an extensive root system. So you don't need to fill these up. Don't waste your garden soil. Because what's going to happen is you fill it halfway up with your soil, and then the rest will be for the growth. You got to give them a little room to grow. Because remember, you're going to be stacking these one on top of the other. So only halfway with the garden soil. Now, right now I'm going to leave these outside, and that's how I'm going to start my seeds. I sprinkled my seeds in here. I cover them with a little soil, and then I'm actually going to cover them with a little straw, just like I do in the garden. Now, right now, just as this is what I prefer, I am going to come out here and water myself with the watering can. I'm not going to stack them, but as soon as they pop up, I'm going to stack these babies up and I'm going to move them inside. Now the beauty of these planters is when they're inside, they don't take up any room. And you use the self-watering system. So you just pour that water right on top of that green stalk and it filters through and you've got it all taken care of. It's all self-contained. It doesn't make any mess. You can put it right in a big, beautiful windows where the sun shines in. And I'm going to have fresh edibles throughout the winter with my green stalk. That's pretty cool, isn't it? All right, and I'll be keep checking back to the Pateron channel because that's where you will see the updates on most of my green stalk plants, and I'll be giving more tips and more tutorials. That's kind of the bonus that you get when you join my Pateron channel. All that extra knowledge and content is packed on my channel. All right, God bless. Thank you for coming along, and I hope you learned something today. Get planting with a green stalk. Okay, and one last thing. The green stalk company, yes, they've been in contact with me. They're really cool people. They're out in the south. I think they're over in Tennessee or Georgia. And they liked that they saw their planter being used in my videos. And I'm like, no, I use the planter on my homestead. I love it. And they are now offering a Starry code for those of you who want to buy the planter and want to save a little money. So if you go to their website, I believe it's greenstalk.com, and when you pick out your planter, whatever tier you want, when you check out, put in the word Starry in their code, and they're actually going to give you some money off. I think it's like 10% or something like that. It's a good savings because this planter is really worth it. See, there you go. So yes, I've been in contact with the company, Starry. And the reason why is because they liked what they were seeing. They're like, see, our product works, and we love that we see it in the background all the time, and you're growing stuff, and we want to help out your viewers. They're good people. They really are. They're a company that I really believe in and trust, and they've got a good product. So there you go, Starry code.